Good evening, Varanda. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 78 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 and Viksit Bharat at 2047. As part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are celebrating International Day of Rural Women on 15th October with the theme Rural Women Rising, Shaping Resilient Futures with Beijing Plus 30. Globally, women make up close to 40% of the agricultural labor force 2023, reaching over 50% in certain parts of Africa and Asia. Rural women have less access to a range of resources from land rights and credit to education and technology. Although women make up almost 4 out of every 10 people in the agricultural workforce, they own only about 15% of agricultural land. If women had the same access to productive resources as men, farm yields could increase by 20 to 30%, feeding an additional 100 to 150 million people. Achieving gender equality and empowering women is not only the right thing to do, but it is also a critical ingredient in the fight against extreme poverty, hunger, and climate change. Women are responsible for the half of the world's food production while working as environmental and biodiversity stewards. Even so, women and girls in rural areas suffer disproportionately from multidimensional poverty. They may be as productive and enterprising as their male counterparts, but are less able to access land, credit agricultural inputs, markets, and high value agri food chains, and obtain lower prices for their crops. Structural barriers and discriminatory social norms continue to constrain women's decision making power and political participation in rural households and communities. Women and girls in rural areas lack equal access to productive resources and assets, public service such as education and healthcare, and infrastructure, including water and sanitation, while much of their labor remains invisible and unpaid. Globally, with few exceptions, every gender and development indicator for which data are available reveals that the rural women fare worse than rural men and urban women, and they disproportionately experience poverty, exclusion, and the effects of climate change. Under the theme, The Rise of Rural Women Building Resilient Futures and Beijing Plus 30. This International Day, promoted by UN Women, seeks to shed light on the inequalities they still face, advocate for their recognition and participation in decision making, demand stronger and social protection systems, and reduce the digital divide. The commemoration aligns with the spirit of Beijing Plus 30, a global plan for gender equality focused on eradicating poverty, achieving climate change, and ensuring the full participation of all women and girls in sustainable development wherever they live. So let's promote their work as food product providers and protectors of the environment, and let's demand their participation in decision making with their communities. Let's promote rural areas where women can have the same opportunities as men. Today is also commemorated as Global Hand Washing Day. We do hope that hand washing is a regular practice that you do every day, but on October 15th, you should put just a little more thought to it as a critical hand washing day until COVID-19 happened. Hand washing and its importance in helping prevent the spread of diseases, something that most of us probably never gave much thought to. But the global pandemic has really shown a light on the importance of hand washing, meaning this day now carries extra relevance, even though it has been around 2008. So, Global Hand Washing Day was founded by the Global Hand Washing Partnership as an opportunity to design and implement creative ways to encourage people to wash their hands with soap, especially during critical times. The first Global Hand Washing Day was held in 2008. Since then, the community as well as the national leaders and influencers have used it, this national holiday, to spread awareness about the value of clean hands. It is really a valuable message. Hand washing is such a simple practice, but it really can make all the difference and save lives. Global Hand Washing Day continues to grow. It endorsed by schools, governments, international institutions, private companies, civil society organizations, and more. Today is also commemorated as World Students' Day on October 15th, which is observed annually on October 15th, commemorates the birthday of former Indian President Awul Pakir Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam, APJ Abdul Kalam, who was born on October 15, 1931, to a Muslim family in the pilgrimage center of Rameshwaram on Pamban Island, India. In a landslide victory, he became the 11th President of the Republic of India on July 18, 2002. So during his 5-year tenure, Kalam was deeply loved by people and fondly called the People's President. World Students' Day is celebrated on October 15th because the date marks the birthday of India's former president, late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. However, there is controversy surrounding the origin of this day, although some sources claim it was established and is currently observed by the United Nations, though there is no evidence pointing to the fact. In reality, the only international day observed by the UN on October 15th is the International Day of Rural Women. Furthermore, it has been alleged that the National Information Officer of the UN Information Officer, Rajiv Chandran, stated that the UN had never declared such a day. Nevertheless, World Students' Day aims to recognize the impact Kalam had on Indian educational sector and on students. So APJ Abdul Kalam graduated with a physics degree from St. Joseph College, Tiruchirappalli. After graduating from Madras Institute of Technology, where he studied aerospace engineering, he joined the aeronautical department development established of the Defense Research and Development Organization. He experimented a brilliant and illustrious career as a scientist, becoming India's most famous nuclear scientist in the 1990s. Kalam became the 11th President of the Republic of India on July 18, 2002. He was deeply loved and fondly called the People's President during the 5 year tenure. Post presidency, he lectured in several higher institutions. He was a visiting professor at Indian Institute of Management, Shillong, and honorary fellow of the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and Chancellor of Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, as well as many other positions. Kalam received 7 honorary doctorates from 40 universities, indicating his brilliance in his field. On July 27, 2015, while delivering a lecture at the Indian Institute of Management, Shillong, he suffered a cardiac arrest and passed away at Bethany Hospital. Today is also commemorated as White Cane Safety Day, which is observed annually on October 15th, is a day dedicated to visually impaired people. The white cane represents their remarkable achievements and symbolizes their independence. Traveling aids for the blind like canes, staff, and sticks have been around for a long time, but it was only in 20th century that white canes came into existence and became a symbol used by blind to alert others. It is said that James Biggs, a photographer from Bristol, was one who came up with this concept of white cane. In 1921, Biggs met with an accident which resulted in blindness. The number of vehicles on the roads was rising during that period, so Biggs decided to paint his cane white in order to be easily visible to motorists as well as other pedestrians. In France, musician and white writer Gulli D. Herbert Hermont launched a scheme for the blind named the National White Stick Movement. She handed over white canes to many blind people throughout the France during World War I veterans. So this was well received in the United Kingdom as well. The UK proposed that blind people be given white canes and that it will be universally recognized as an indicator that the person carrying it was blind. In the US, it was the Lions Club International that suggested the idea of giving white canes to the blind. For the war veterans, the long white canes not only acted as an identifier, but also as a tool used for mobility. On October 6, 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson and the US Congress signed a joint resolution and proclaimed that October 15 to be celebrated as White Cane Safety Day every year. Educate people about white cane laws. Many people are not aware of white cane laws, such as blind individual with a white cane has the right of way. This includes both people who are blind and people who are sighted. Make use of this day to spread awareness about the white cane laws. You can either conduct seminars on your neighborhood, in your neighborhood, or do it online like we are doing today. So this would be a perfect opportunity to remind those who live with the loss of sight that they are so much more than their impairment. If you have a blind person in your community or circle, show them some love by doing something that will have an impact on their lives. Tell them about career opportunities lost that they are unaware of, or help them learn really if they haven't already. So there are few facts about white cane laws, like they have the right of way. Blind pedestrian with a white cane or a guide dog has the right of way. And do not honk your horn. You should not honk your horn at a blind person, as they wouldn't have any idea where the sound is coming from, and many become startled by the noise. Stop your vehicle 10 feet away. You must stop your vehicle before approaching closer to than 10 feet to a pedestrian with a white cane or a mobility device. Everyone cannot carry a white cane. So carrying a white cane unless you are partially or fully blind is a punishable offense. There is a standard cane for navigation, the support cane for mobility, and the ID cane for the people with partial sight. So these three types of white canes are widely used. It is estimated that over 250 million people worldwide are visually impaired. White Cane Safety Day is a day to appreciate the achievements of blind people. This day gives an opportunity to reach out to the people that might need your help. You can attend meetings and events organized on the White Cane Safety Day and do something that will help visually impaired people. White canes are the symbol of independence for visually impaired. This day calls for learning and educating people about the importance of this tool and celebrating this symbol of independence. Today is also commemorated as Unity Day in US. Every year on the third or fourth Wednesday in October, a very special event comes around the Day of Unity or Unity Day, as it is commonly called, which is celebrated on October 15 this year. This is the signature event of National Bullying Prevention Month, also created in October. Multiple anti-bullying campaigns, of which Unity Day is one of them, are organized during this period. The key message of this month and the day is to unite for kindness, courage, and inclusion to prevent students from being bullied. So the National Center for Education Statistics says 1 in 5 students aged 12 to 18 have been bullied in school, with the most common type being verbal harassment, followed by social harassment, as per the youth group student survey. So apart from numerous celebrities speaking out against bullying of any kind, everyone from Ellen DeGeneres to Anderson Cooper and the entire cast of The View 2018 have stood behind this day. So Disney, ABC Family, Cartoon Network, and others regularly partner with Pacer for the month-long campaign, raising awareness about the day and the cause. Females gang up on the weaker females while competing over resources. The lower ranking ones then exhibit stress symptoms and have lower reproductive success than their higher ranking group mates. Peer intervention on behalf of the person being bullied can put a stop to about 57% of all such situations, according to PACES, National Bullying Prevention Center. Not only do we raise our voices collectively, but we also encourage positive behaviors with this campaign. By getting exercise from adults to organizations involved, this event penetrates the very fabric of our communities. The day makes it very easy for people around the US to show their support for this cause. People can wear orange, participate in activities, and speak about their own experiences. In doing so, we show students that they are not alone and they have an entire community supporting them. Today is also commemorated as Support Your Local Chamber of Commerce Day, which is observed on the third Wednesday of October every year, falling on October 15. This year, the aim is to spread awareness about local businesses and convey our gratitude to our local chambers of commerce for supporting the growth of entrepreneurs and local business. The US Chamber of Commerce was established in 1912 following the proposal made by the President William Howard Taft and his Secretary of Commerce and Labor Charles Nagel to Congress. Taft believed that there needed to be a representative group of professionals that could speak with authority to the government on behalf of entrepreneurs and small businesses. The idea of joining several businesses together in a shared initiative to boost commerce started in Europe many years ago. Traders would band together and establish trade policies that would protect them against the foreign bourgeois. The term Chamber of Commerce was first recorded in 1599 in Marseilles, France, when various businesses came together to form an organization. This idea was adopted by Germany and eventually spread through Europe. In America, the oldest chamber of commerce is the New York State Chamber. The chamber was established in 1768 and chartered by King George III in 1770, predating even the Declaration of Independence. In 1773, the first local chamber was established in the Charleston, South Carolina. This structure was then adopted by the several other states, and soon there were local chambers all across the country. Today is also commemorated as Shine a Light, October 15th. In Ireland, when people spend the night away from safety and comfort of their beds, people sleep outside their homes to raise awareness and funds for the welfare of homeless people. Focus Ireland, introduced this day in 2012, has helped raise over $7.69 million for homeless people in Ireland, according to a Department of Housing Today report published in the journal. There were more than 8,200 homeless people in Ireland as of December 2000, and the figure is rising. Participate in the campaign to support this noble cause. Housing is a basic human necessity and has been around for a long time. Over 70,000 years ago, caves were used as shelters. In every way, housing has transformed. We have advanced from caves, huts, Roman buildings with slanted roofs, timber houses, and so on. To the modern living spaces, houses are no longer just shelters from the outdoors and animals, but we have a place in the house where we belong to. One's house is also status symbol and a personal identity. Urbanization, the evolution of nuclear family, and the cultural factors that have contributed to the desire to own a house. Around 150 million people all around the world are homeless, and this figure is rising every year. A 2015 survey states that around 1.6 million people live in inadequate shelters. With more than 8,000 homeless people, Ireland is facing a housing crisis too. More than 5,000 adults and 2,300 children need assistance to have a roof over their heads. Focus Ireland is trying to improve the dire situation. Focus Ireland was founded by Stanislaus Kennedy in 1980. The organization was formed to address the need to create safe dwellings for people and is supported by the business community of Ireland. It provides help and information to the homeless and also ensures that the right of these people remain on the government agenda. Shine a Light Night is an initiative of Focus Ireland. The campaign encourages business leaders, students, and the general public across Ireland to experience one night of sleeping outdoors. Today is also commemorated as Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day in US. The loss of an infant is devastating. Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day honors those lives lost to miscarriage, sudden infant death syndrome, stillbirth, the death of a newborn, and more. National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day is a day to shatter the culture of silence surrounding the infant and pregnancy loss. People defy the social and cultural taboos about speaking about the loss of their young ones by sharing their personal experiences and remembering their loss. The International Day is observed particularly in the US, Canada, and Australia on October 15th. Take this opportunity to reflect, honor, and come together over pregnancy and infant loss. If you have a loved one who has experienced this loss, take the time to give them the love and support needed to process and recover. Today is also commemorated as National Take Your Parents to Lunch Day in US, which occurs on Wednesday in the second full week of October. This year on October 15th, its purpose for its parents to have an enjoyable and memorable moment talking to and learning about the things their children eat in school. Parents and school administration collaborate to help come up with a system that provides the healthiest lunch yarn. for school kids. Today is also commemorated as National Mushroom Day in US on October 15. Portobello should take button truffle. We are talking about mushrooms because October 15th is National Mushroom Day. Mushrooms are fleshy fruiting bodies of fungi and they are variety of species. That is why we have so many types of mushrooms to choose from. They are a staple in vegetarians' diet due to their nutritious value and healthy consistency. Plus, they make a delicious side dish for a juicy piece of steak. So that means everyone can have fun celebrating Mushroom Day. Today is commemorated as Evacuation Day, Tunisia, celebrated every October 15th by Tunisians to commemorate the anniversary of the final retreat of the French army from Tunisian land in 1960. This day is a national event. In Tunisia, and the country celebrates with parades and official processions in every state. People also honor the soldiers and civilians who lost their lives in Bizerte crisis. The Bizerte crisis was a three-day battle between French and Tunisian forces. For Bizerte, although the French colonists has granted Tunisia their independence at that time, they had maintained their naval base at Bizerte and hoarded portions of very fertile Tunisian lands. Tunisia was prompted to act in its interest. Today is also commemorated as Hagfish Day, which is observed on third Wednesday in October every year, falling on October 15 this year. It is a day to celebrate existence and importance of hagfish, the squiggly, slimy fish species, although is often considered the ugliest fish species. It plays a vital role in the overall ecosystem and equilibrium with marine life. Hagfish bring with them a whole other level of slime and ick with no jaw, no bones, and no scales. The fish species is not the easiest on ice. To make matters worse, they have equally unsettling eating habits. Hagfish feast on dead or dying bodies of marine animals. They do so by sliding into the sick body and eating it away from the inside, just leaving the skin behind. That being said, and unappealing as the species might be, it is also essential to maintain a balanced ecosystem. Whether it is outwardly obvious or not, each organism in nature has a role to play in order to keep the world functioning as it should. All creatures, no matter how big or small, are important, and their absence can create undesirable circumstances. In the case of hagfish, they are important to ensure that timely removal of dead marine animals and recycling of nutrients and carbon. Without them, the ocean floor would overflow with carcasses, in turn creating an unsanitary environment for the remaining marine animals. Once you look past their exterior, hagfish have a lot to offer and deserve to be celebrated. For this reason, Whale Times founded Hagfish Day in 2009, and it has been observed nationwide on the third Wednesday of October ever since. Today is also commemorated as National Latino AIDS Awareness Day on October 15th in US. Last day of National Hispanic Heritage Month in 2015, the segment of the population accounted for about 1/4 of all new diagnoses of HIV in the US. Local organizations across the country use this day to launch prevention campaigns, offer counseling and testing, and hold cultural events. Education can help cure and prevent this even more. Today is also commemorated as National Grouch Day on October 15th in US to honor the world's favorite grouch, Oscar from Sesame Street. It was created on October 15th to celebrate all the grouches we know or to embrace the grouch that lives inside all of us. On this day, no one can stop us from complaining, being irritable, or wallowing in misery because that is what grouches do. This day teaches us that it's good to spend time processing our negative emotions. Today is also commemorated as National Fossil Day on October 15th in US. Fossils aren't just interesting and fun to look at, they are also proof of existence of once living things like dinosaurs, animals, plants, and even DNA remnants. Through these fossils, where though we are able to learn a lot about the life and billions of years ago, we can even take a look at the animals and life forms that are no longer on the planet. These fossils and the education around them deserve to be preserved and explored. That's why we celebrate National Fossil Day annually on the Wednesday of the second full week in October, with this year's celebration being held on October 15th. Show some appreciation for these incredible time capsules and the paleontologists who evacuated them. Today is also commemorated as National Aesthetician Day in US. This day is dedicated to the millions of aestheticians across the globe who work day and night so that we can look our best. It is said that early men during the Stone Age used a variety of aesthetic practices, but it was mainly for blending into the environment, which was crucial for hunting stealthily. However, there have been pieces of evidence suggesting that people in South Africa used powdered red rock on the face and bodies to be more attractive to the opposite sex. Some suggest that this was a hunting ritual. This was later during Egyptian civilization when aesthetic practices began being used for beautification. Cleopatra was well known for using a variety of methods for skin exfoliation and personal grooming. It's said that Cleopatra enjoyed bathing in sour milk, which today has been proven to be effective in maintaining skin health. It is also said to have anti-aging properties. She was also known to have mud baths, which are proven to remove dead cells from the skin, making it glow more. The word aesthetic is said to have come from Greek word aesthetikos, which roughly translates to appreciable to the senses. It's believed the Greeks used olive oil for making their skin resistant to harmful rays of the sun. They also discovered Novacilla, a straight razor blade used for shaving. The Romans used pomace stones for shaving and plucking hair and are said to have used depilatory creams. In the late 20th century, many brands emerged that shaped the world of beautification and grooming. Electric toothbrushes and shavers flooded the market. Many salons and spas opened, and people started placing importance on grooming more than ever. In 1998, a team of aestheticians, doctors, and chemists founded Cosmetic, which is a brand dedicated to skincare and skin health. In 2016, to honor aestheticians and beauticians, Cosmetics proclaimed October 15th to be celebrated as National Aesthetician Day. Today is also commemorated as National Cheese Curd Day in US. On October 15th, Culver's, a popular Midwestern food chain, created this day in 2015. And if you don't know already, cheese curds are bite-sized nuggets of Cheese, now you can see why they have a whole day designated to them. On cheesy goodness and celebrate National Cheese Curd Day by buying or making, but most importantly, eating cheese curds. Today is also commemorated as National Bra Day in US, celebrating on the third Wednesday in October to honor women who have been diagnosed with breast cancer. And this year, it falls on October 15. These days, primarily goal is to educate, engage, and empower women who have been diagnosed with breast cancer. The women should have access to information they need to make an informed decision about their treatment, including their breast reconstruction options, which means educating patients, their family and caregivers, and the media. However, there is still work to be done in educating women and their families on breast cancer and treatment options. Today is also commemorated as Mother's Day in Malawi, celebrated every year on October 15th. It's a day dedicated to celebrating motherhood. It is observed on the International Day of Rural Women, declared by the United Nations worldwide. The history of Mother's Day is tied to the Mothering Sunday in the United Kingdom, when people who had moved away returned to the Mother Church in their hometowns. This gradually evolved and people began using the day to visit their mothers in the United States. And Mother's Day originated through all the efforts of Anna Jarvis, who created the day to pay tribute to her mother. Today is also commemorated as Kulu Dasara on October 15th. In Himachal Pradesh in northern India, Dasara at Kulu begins on the 10th day of Navaratri, which is held in October and continuing for 7 days. The festival commemorates the installment of the deity Lord Raghunath in the Kulu Valley. To devotees, the festival also symbolizes the triumph of good over evil. The celebrations are massive with thousands of tourists from around the globe. Music, food, dancing, group performances, and colorful attire make up the fascinating aura of Dasra. In 1972, Kulu Dasra was recognized as an international event. Today is also commemorated as HSA Day. Observed annually on October 15, the day is targeted at raising more awareness about the importance of health savings accounts. HSA stands for Healthy Savings Accounts. This medical savings account is used to save money to cover healthcare expenses. The money deposited into such accounts is controlled and monitored by the individual, not an insurance company or employer. Though an employer may contribute to the HSA, the account is ultimately under the control of individual and the money remains theirs even if they change jobs. So today is also commemorated as Commemoration Day of King's Father in Cambodia on October 15th, which is observed annually. The full name of holiday is Commemoration Day to the Royal Soul of His Majesty, Pray Bat Samdej Pray Nordum Shenok Pray Mahavairak Sat, the father of the Cambodian national independence, territorial integrity, and unity. It commemorates the death of Cambodia's former King Nordum Sihanouk on October 15, 2012, born on 31st, 1922, to Nordum Suramarit and Sisowat Kosuma. Sihanouk was crowned King of Cambodia on May 3rd, 1940. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us in today's commemorations and celebrations. We see you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link. Before leaving, we request everyone to fill the feedback form that has been raised in the form of votes. So see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.